I have no idea how to film an intro, but hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome here. My name is Raven. I am learning how to crochet, and I am participating in a crochet along with some of my sober friends. We are the Yarnaholics Sober Crafters Club. Not really a club, more of a chat board, but that is irrelevant. If you would like to work our crochet along, our granny square along with us, come on, feel free. There is more than enough room here for everybody. If you would like to follow along and you're not a part of our sober WhatsApp chat, leave me a comment down below. I would be happy to know that you're here and following along. Let's get to it. Okay, guys, this is week 4. This week we are doing the puff stitch granny square. These squares have this cute little puff stitch going up the sides, or not the sides, the corners of the squares. There is one, here is another one, and here is a multicolor one that I've done. This week we get to learn a new stitch. We are learning this puff stitch right here. Not too difficult, but it is something new to learn and helps us kind of move forward on our crocheting journey. So without further ado, if you want to learn how to do this puff stitch granny square with me, just keep watching. I have no idea how to film an intro, but hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome here. My name is Raven. I am learning how to crochet, and I am participating in a crochet along with some of my sober friends. We are the Yarnaholics Sober Crafters Club. Not really a club, more of a chat board, but that is irrelevant. If you would like to work our crochet along, our granny square along with us, come on, feel free. There is more than enough room here for everybody. If you would like to follow along and you're not a part of our sober WhatsApp chat, leave me a comment down below. I would be happy to know that you're here and following along. Let's get to it. All right, guys, let's get to it. I'm just going to pop those up at the top there. I'm going to use this yarn here. I'm hoping that it's light in color. Its color will be very conducive to seeing the stitches and seeing what I'm actually doing. So to get us started, we are going to do our handy dandy little starts everything slip stitch, get it on the needles, and I'm going to do 4 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And join in the round. So insert it into that beginning chain, yarn over, pull through both. So we've got our chain. We are going to our very first stitch. We are starting off strong. We have got to make 8 of those damn puff stitches. Woo! Instead of chaining to get our hook up to the height that we need it to be, we are actually just going to pull this loop up. Rather than chaining up, we're pulling that loop up. So, puff stitch. Here we go. We are going to yarn over, go into that center ring, yarn over again, pull up. And we're going to keep it pulled. We're just going to pull it up and create that space there. I find this stitch is easier when I hold my finger here. Then I'm going to yarn over again, hold here, go through that loop again, pull up, and keep that tension up here. I really like to keep my finger on all these yarns that are here. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on my needles. The goal is 9. So I'm going to yarn over again, in there, pull up. Now I've got 7 on the needle. Do it again, pull up. I now have 9 loops on my needle. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all of them. I now only have 1 loop on my stitch. Then I'm going to do a chain to lock it in. That is our first puff stitch. Now we're going to pretend over here that we have just done this puff stitch right here. So we gotta make a corner. My dog is literally licking my ear right now. So because it's a corner, I'm going to chain 2. Now for another puff stitch. Here we go. Yarn over, in, pull up. That's 1 time. Yarn over, in, pull up. That's 2 times. Yarn over, in, pull up. 3 times. Yarn over, in, pull up. That's 4 times. And then we are going to yarn over, pull through all of them, and then chain to lock it in. There we go. There is another puff stitch. All right, this time we've just done this one here. We're going over here. Because we're on a side, we only need to do 1 chain space. So chain 1. All right. Now we're going to get into another one. There's 8 of them here. So yarn over, in, pull up 1 time. Keep that tension taut. Finger here. Yarn over, in, pull up. That's 2 times. Yarn over, in, pull up. That's 3. Yarn over, in, pull up. That's 4. Pull through all of them and then lock it in. Stop it! So this just happened with my yarn, even though it was a center pull, but that's all right. It happens. It happens. All right, back to what we were doing. So now we are over at another corner. Here was our first corner. Here is our second corner. So we are going to chain 2. Chain 1, chain 2. All right, another puff stitch. Yarn over, in, pull up 1. Yarn over, in, pull up 2. Yarn over, in, 3. Yarn over, in, 4. There we go. Yarn over, pull through all of them, and then chain 1 to lock it in. All right. Now we are on a side, so we only need chain 1 in between. Here we go, another puff stitch. Yarn over in 1, yarn over in, pull up 2, yarn over in, pull up 3, yarn over in, pull up 4, and now yarn over through all of them. Lock it in. I don't know why I feel the need to say lock it in every time, but it just helps me out to know that that is part of that stitch. Now I'm going to chain 2 more for another corner. And here we go. Yarn over in 1. Yarn over in 2. Yarn over in, pull up 3. Yarn over in, pull up 4. Yarn over through all of them. There we go. Lock it in. Alrighty, chain 1. We're almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 2 more to go. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we got 2 more to go. There's a corner, there's a corner, there's a corner. Here we go. Yarn over in, pull up. 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times. Yarn over, pull through all of them, lock it in. Alrighty, boop, boop, boop. I will say this one sometimes to me feels like this first round is legit the hardest on this one, just keeping track of how many you have and which ones are the corners. So corner, corner, corner. I need 1 more corner, so I'm going to chain 2 and our very last puff stitch. Whoo, we're almost done here, guys. Yarn over 1. Make sure to keep it pulled up. 2, pull up, yarn over, in, pull up. 3, yarn over, in, pull up. 4. There, pull through all of them. Lock it in. Yay! And then we are going to chain 1 because this is a side piece. And then instead of joining to the top, we are legit going to be super easy and just slip stitch it right there. Woo woo! There we go. We did our first round, guys. Excellent, party time. Okay, we are getting ready to start row number 2. Here's row number 1. So here we are. Boop, boop. So we got to go up and we're going to do this chain, this corner. So puff stitch, chain 2, puff stitch right here. So we've pulled up to the right height. So we're going to do 2 puff stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through, lock it in, chain 2. Yarn over, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all of them, lock it in. So we just did our first corner. We are going to chain 1, then do 3 double crochets into the side space. 1, 2, 3. That is this part right here. Chain 1 more before we go into the corner. Now we're going to do 2 more puff stitches with 2 chains in between. There is 1 puff stitch, chain 2, then another puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all, lock it in. I'm telling you, whether I'm making a video or not, I'm still saying lock it in every single time I ever make a puff stitch. Here we go. Chain 1, then 3 double crochets, 2, 3, chain 1, and then another corner. Here we go. Puff stitch, 2, 3, 4. I also do the counting in my head, sometimes out loud. Pull through all, lock it in. Chain 1, chain 2. Another puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all, lock it in. All right, chain 1 are 3 double crochets in the side space. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. And then we're going into that other corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all of them. Sometimes you gotta wiggle it just a little bit. Lock it in. Chain 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I find that it's smoother when I'm having to pull through all of those, when I've held my finger on all the loops and kept my tension real good. If I get really loosey-goosey with it, it is harder and harder to pull through all of them. Chain 1, and then we are on our last side space. So 3 double crochets. 3. Whoops. Start that one over. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we need to chain 1 for that space that we're mirroring, and then just slip stitch right into that corner. Yay! We have done round 2. I will say I do think that this square does much better when it has a little bit of blocking. Like when we're gonna need to, lock them into place. If you don't know anything about blocking, ask me, I'll help answer, but it really helps whip our knits into shape. Usually involves getting them wet or steaming them and then pinning them in place. Moving forward, this next row is only slightly different. We will again be doing the puff stitches in the corners, but now is where we go from doing our side stitches. Instead of doing them into a hole, we're going to be doing them into these spaces and along here. From there on, every row is exactly the same. So this is the row that but this is the row that gets from after rows 1 and 2, row 3 and on are all exactly the same. So here we go. Pull up that loop. We're going into this corner. So we're going to do puff stitch, chain 2, puff stitch. 3, 4, puff stitch, chain 2, and another puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Through all, boom. Now we're going to chain 1, which is going to create on this row this space that's right here. Now we're going to actually do a double crochet into that chain 1 space below, and then double stitch in the next 3 stitches. 3, And then we are going to do another double crochet into that space below, and then chain 1, which recreates that space below. See how we've done that? We've kind of created a pyramid. Boop, boop, boop. And it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing as we get bigger and bigger. Now I'm at the corner, so you know the drill. Puff stitch, chain 2, puff stitch. Chain 2, boop, and another puff stitch. 1, 2. I will say my puff stitches look neater the more slower and deliberate I go when making that stitch, rather than boom, 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 whipping it out as fast as I can. All right, there's the corner. Again, we're going to chain 1. That recreates this space right here. Then we're going to double crochet into said space. Going to double stitch across. I say double stitch, double crochet across. Do another double crochet into that space, and then recreate that space. So chain 1, and then into our next corner. Had to pull out some yarn from that big old bundle of a mess that we got. Let's start over here. So yarn over, 1, 2, 3, 4. All together, boop, chain 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all of them, lock it in. Okay, another side. So we do chain 1, double crochet into the chain 1 space below, double crochet across to the other side, double crochet into that space below, and then chain 1 to recreate that space above. As above, so below. In this case, as below, so above. Here we go. Puff stitches for the corner. Chain 2. Boop. Pull through all, lock it in. Last corner. Look, we're so close. Boop, boop, boop. There it is. So, chain 1 to recreate that space down there. Double crochet into that space down there. Double crochet all the way across. Double crochet into that space, and then as below, so above. So chain 1 to recreate that space, and then we slip stitch into that corner. Guys, that is it. That is how we do it. Boom. There we are. That's it. On this square, I did only 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. But here's one. How many did I do on this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I were to keep going on this one, it's gonna turn right into this. There we go. We just did this. It's easier to see on this side. We just did this row here. You can see the side. Let's kind of mark it off. We created a space, double stitch in the space below, double stitched across, double stitched in that space below, and then chained a space. And then going up one more row, made a space, crocheted into that bottom space, double crocheted across, double crocheted into that bottom space, and then chained 1 to make a new space. Guys, I hope that helps. I hope you like this square. It was fun to learn a new stitch and see how we can incorporate it into our crocheting. So far, I actually really like this stitch in solid squares over the colorful ones, but I've seen some done online in variegated yarn and they look beautiful. So I'm really excited to try those next. All right, guys, I hope this helps, and we'll see you next week for our next installment of the weekly Crochet Granny Square Along. Have a good one.